Welcome to the simple project management tools session. This will cover the basics of the different tools that are used for project management. The challenges that were highlighted in managing or implementing your projects gave us an idea of the different tools that can be used. We expect that this session will introduce you to those tools to efficiently manage your projects. The first part will introduce you to most of the tools, and the second part will focus on one such tool in more detail, which, as mentioned earlier, came out of your presentation on the challenges of managing your projects. At the end of the session, we expect that you can apply these tools in certain challenging situations related to managing your projects and will be part of your group home assignment too. As other sessions we've had, you will have specific information provided to you on the home assignment at the end of the session. I will now hand it over to Naushad, the co-lead of this course, to take you through the rest of the session.
Hello and welcome again to this session on the project management tool for research project. Whether you are leading a small study or coordinating a large multi-site project, having the right tool in place can make the difference between a smooth process and a chaotic one. In the first part of this sessions, I will walk you through the key project management tool that help keep your research on track, manage your team effectively, and deliver high quality result on time. So these tools are the work breakdown structure, resource management, communication plan, stakeholder analysis and the management, risk management, monitoring plan or the checkpoints, task management, and the tracking. First, we will discuss WBS, the work breakdown structure. As name suggests, is a tool used to break the project into smaller, manageable, and actionable tasks. So think of it as a tree. Your main study or a project is a trunk, and each phases branches out into subtasks. For example, literature review, tool development, data collections, and data analysis. Further, you can divide these tasks into subtasks as a leaf. Initially, start developing your WBS on a Excel sheet. Break your project into phases, then phases into task, and then task into the subtask. Here is an example of an Anumati WBS in a visual form. WBS helps to ensure that every step is accounted and is clearly assigned to a team member. It's a great tool for tracking progress and avoiding missing any step. Tools like Microsoft Excel, Lucidchart, Draw.ai, or WBS Schedule Pro help visualize this breakdown. So this is how your WBS may look like. I have used Draw.ai applications, which is freely available online. The next is resource management. The proper resource planning ensure your research run efficiently without bottleneck, especially the human resource. A resource allocation template tracks four things: number of personnel required, who will do it, and the time required to execute that work, and other resources required to accomplish that task. For example, electronic items, stationaries, refreshment, field office, or even a drop-in center. This helps avoid over-allocation, ensure fairness, and optimize the productivity. Human resource mapping helps to clearly assign who is responsible for each subtask. A Google Sheet or Excel sheet can be used here. We use a RACI matrix to clearly define the responsibility. We will learn more about RACI metrics in the next session. Clear and direct communication is the backbone of any successful research project. The next tool is the communication plan. A research project often involves multiple stakeholders, researchers, committee members, funders, institution, and a large team. A communication plan clearly outline who needs to be informed, what informations they need, how often, and through which channel like email, in-person meetings, online meetings, through reports, etc. This ensures the transparency and keep everyone aligned to the common goal of the project. So tool like Microsoft Excel uh, can be used to develop your communication plan. There are many templates available online for free, but even a simple Excel sheet like this will suffice. A communication plan should include the communication activity, the purpose of the meeting, location, frequency, and who is going to facilitate that meeting, who will be the attendee in that meeting, and what output of the meeting would be. Should be clearly defined in the communication plan. Here is the example of a communication plan from Anumati project. The next is stakeholder management, and it is a critical component in a research project, especially when we engage with a wide range of stakeholders, such as government agency, site partners, funders, academic institutions, ethics committee, and the community member. Stakeholder management typically follow a four-step process. We begin by identifying all the relevant stakeholders. The here tools like expert judgment and the stakeholder analysis metrics are particularly useful. Using these tools help us ensure that no key stakeholder is missed. The output of this step is a stakeholder register, which lists all the identified stakeholders along with their role, interest, and level of influence. In the second step, we develop a strategy to engage each stakeholder effectively. Again, expert judgment plays a role, especially from the individual with a prior experience managing diverse stakeholder groups. We also use tools like stakeholder engagement metrics to map stakeholders based on their interest and the influence. The key output here is the stakeholder management plan. The third step is execution. This step really heavily relies on soft skills such as the effective communications, political awareness, negotiation skills, etc. These help us build the trust and manage the relationship, especially when we dealing with the sensitive issues or conflicting interest. Finally, we continuously monitor the engagement plan and look out for change, new stakeholder dynamics, and lesson learned during the implementation. And based on what we observe, we update our stakeholder document, strategies, and the other project documents accordingly. This ensures our stakeholder engagements remain relevant, responsive, and aligned with the project needs at every stage. There are several templates available online for both the stakeholders analysis metrics and the stakeholder engagement plan, which can be customized based on the specific need of your project. The stakeholder analysis metrics help us to identify and categorize key stakeholders, while the engagement plan provides a structured method to manage and streamline our interactions with them throughout the project lifecycle. When using the stakeholder analysis metrics, there are four key questions for each stakeholders. How does the project impact this stakeholder? How much power or influence does this stakeholder have over the project? What is important for this stakeholder, and how can this stakeholder contribute to the project success? Additionally, how this stakeholder can block the project. So understanding these aspects is crucial for designing meaningful engagement, ones that build support, manage resistance, and ensure effective collaboration throughout the project. A stakeholder engagement plan should have the purpose of the engagement, the strategy to engage, what are the key concerns for the stakeholders of or the project, and the frequency and the timing of this engagement, and at what platform we will engage with them, and who is the responsible to engage with this particular stakeholder. So every research project has risk. For example, delays in the ethical approval, data collection issues, technology failure, budget cuts, or a team conflict. A risk management plan allows you to identify risk in advance, assess their likelihood and the impact, and plan the mitigation strategy. To identify a risk, a basic Excel sheet works well here. Use a column like risk, likelihood or the probability, the impact, the mitigation plan, and the responsible person. So for example, under Anumati project, we identify the study participants drop out during the intervention as a risk. It's likely to happen, but has a significant impact on the project. So to mitigate this risk, we plan to enhance our engagement strategy through using a fun learning element. And Naushad Alam is responsible for this mitigation plan. As a rule, review this monthly to ensure the preparedness and the quick action if risk arises. However, those risks with a high probability high and the high impact should be reviewed and monitored more closely on a weekly basis. Please refer to the TGI risk management plan available on GWIS and report. As a project manager, it's not just about ensuring activities are happening, it's about monitoring them effectively. And to do that, we must ask for questions. What do we need to monitor? For example, in a data collection phase, we monitor things like number of data collections per day, whether data collectors are properly explaining the projects and taking consent to the participants, the quality of data collection, and the backend data consistency and completeness. The second question is, how will we monitor it? So we use tools like Excel sheet and backend data, verification sheets and field visits, diary notes and the meeting records, discussion points and meeting minutes. The third is, when should we monitor? The frequency varies depending on activities. Some tasks are monitored daily, some tasks are monitored weekly, some tasks can be monitored fortnightly, and some could be the monthly. Like data collections volume could be a daily basis. And the fourth question is, who is responsible for monitoring for that particular task? So specific team members are assigned to it in the last column. By answering these four questions clearly and documenting them in the structured format, we ensure that all critical activities are tracked effectively, responsibilities are clear, and the quality of both data and the implementation is maintained throughout the project. Once tasks are defined, the next step is to assign it to a particular member of the team and to track the progress of these. Tools like MS Planner, Trello, Asana, and Notion help manage these tasks, set deadlines, assign responsibilities, and send reminders. For examples, you can create an MS Planner with a bucket like here, such as phase 1, phase 2, or even the site-wise. Each card under the bucket represent a task with a due date here and an assigned team members here. So integrating these tasks to email reminders and notifications to ensure no task is missing or forgotten. These tools Make follow-up easy and transparent among team members. Although the MS Planner is not very effective in terms of the dashboard visualization, so the tool like Trello, Asanas have got everything in one place. Though the dashboard may look very good, it will not work if the team members are not engaged in using it. Thank you and see you in the next session.